G'day, I'm going to show you how I made my very first solder stencil. This is a stencil I made to suit this prototype that I'm working on, and this is a simple board. You could hand solder this, but I just couldn't resist getting into the weeds and learning something new. So I'll show you how I went from the PCB design files to this laser cut polyamide stencil. Let's do it. Okay, so starting off with a PCB that we want to prototype. I'm working in KiCad at the moment for anyone interested. We're going to generate the artwork that's going to make its way onto our stencil. To do that, we can go to the plot dialog. You'd usually use this to generate Gerbers to send to your PCB manufacturer. But instead of plotting Gerbers for our stencil, we're going to plot an SVG, just a graphics file that we could send to a printer. After all, most laser cutters are basically printers if you think about it. So I'll just select the SVG format, and I don't need any of the other layers, so I'll deselect everything and just go with the front paste layer. That's the front solder paste. As for these other options, I think these are okay, so I'll just hit the plot button there. Now if I open my project directory, inside the output directory Gerbers, I've plotted my paste layer. Great, we've got a graphics file, and we could just send that to the printer. That would work. We would get a stencil out of it. But there's just a little adjustment that we need to make to it, and I'll show you why. If I zoom in on one of the components here, this is one of the LEDs. You can see the red layer is the top copper layer. We have the 4 pads here. Now, if I turn off all the layers and show just the front copper and the front paste, if I toggle the front copper on and off, you can see that the paste layer matches exactly the outline of the top copper layer. In fact, maybe I can change the color of that to make that a little bit easier to see. Here we go. You can see that this purple paste layer, it's matching the pad exactly. On a normal PCB with solder mask, that's okay because the solder mask will tend to repel the solder and keep the solder right on that pad. But here, I'm prototyping on just bare copper-clad board. There's no solder mask on this board. And what that means is we may wind up with some unintended solder bridges if the solder paste is allowed to go all the way to the edges of the pad. So what I'm going to do is shrink those pads in the artwork that we just created. I'll show you how to do that now. If I open up Adobe Illustrator, you could use any vector editing program. I'm just going to use Illustrator for now. I'll open my PCB directory and open the SVG file that we created before. That looks like our paste layer artwork. I'll just center that on the canvas a little bit more. Doesn't really matter where it goes. So what we need to do is shrink the size of these apertures in the solder stencil. If I go to the layers view, you might be able to see that we're working with a big group here. If I drag one object, I drag all objects. So to ungroup this object into all its constituent parts, I go to Object and Ungroup. Or you can hit Ctrl-Shift-G as well. And you'll see the Layers menu has expanded, and there's still some subgroups in there. So keeping all of my artwork selected, I'll just hold down Ctrl-Shift-G and just press that a few times. And now I have just these single rectangles, which are the apertures in the silk screen. So I want to shrink these, all of them by some amount. Select all of the objects and navigate to Object, Transform, and then Transform Each. This will transform each individual aperture around its center rather than transforming the whole group, which might change the location of the apertures. And very easily, we can just enter a new scale. I'm just going to select 80% for both the horizontal and vertical scales. And if I toggle this preview option, you should see the effect of what's going to happen. All of those apertures are just going to shrink about their center. And that's going to give us just a little more clearance to avoid solder bridges, and also gives us a bit of tolerance for manual alignment of the stencil on the PCB. Great. Got a file that's ready for laser cutting, but I've never laser cut Kapton film before, so I had to characterize the material on our laser cutter. We're using a Trotec Speedy 400 with 60-watt laser, and these are the results of my experiment. On the left is the power percentage, and on the right is the speed percentage. So I started off with 60-50, and that gave this this kind of discoloring printing effect. So you could theoretically use this setting to print onto Kapton. That's pretty cool. I tried way overshot the mark with 150. That left quite a bit of scorching actually around the edge. I've cleaned that off since. But after going through and going up and down a little bit, I landed on a setting I was happy with, which was 85-50. So that's 85% power, 50% speed on a 60-watt laser. And that's everything I had to do to prepare the file. After that, all I did was send that to the laser cutter and cut out the stencil. So overall, making the laser cut solder paste stencil was really straightforward. It's just quite a small step in the process of making this prototype. You could easily knock that over in a few minutes, even just while the PCB is being milled. I did use that stencil to assemble this PCB. If you're wondering why things are looking not super level, I was designing as if this was going to be made by a PCB manufacturer. So actually underneath all of these LEDs is a small via, and by having to put a small piece of wire through each one of those vias and solder it on, I've created this bump that's lifted the LEDs in place. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the stencil performed really nicely. After making just one board, it appears to have not been worn or damaged in any way. I wouldn't be surprised if you could do like a small once-off run of 10 or 20 boards before wearing one of these out or damaging it. So let's talk more about those power and speed settings. That setting was just something that I arrived at after a little bit of experimentation. So power was about at 85% and speed was about at 50%. There's my solution there. That's not to say that there could easily be some envelope of solutions that may produce even better results. Maybe some kind of lower power and slower speed would be appropriate. I don't anticipate it, but maybe going full speed with a higher power might create a good cut. So there's some envelope of solutions here for laser cutting this material, and I just found one point in it. So if you've got any tips for laser cutting this material, if you've got any experience with that, I'd love to hear from you. Just leave it in the comments below. And there you have it, a rapid prototype PCB solder stencil. I hope you learned something along the way. I know I did. Thanks for watching.